arrest a situation that can lead to what some people are holding as their opinion. As a Nigerian, the fundamental right, chapter 4, gives every person, every citizen of this country the right to hold an opinion and to canvass for it. So it shouldn't be an issue of blackness. Secondly, it's also look at the provisions of the law. What is the law saying? The law is clear about there can't be vacuum in governance, and we've dragged ourselves to a point that what we needed to avert, we have not averted it. Take, for instance, if during the amendment of the Constitution we have made rule that all litigation must finish before anybody is sworn in, which has been a popular and progressive demand, we won't box ourselves to this point. I think it's just resonate the challenge before us to make sure that we have credible election, free, fair election, where winners will be declared and litigation will be ending before anybody is sworn. I think that's the major challenge. But as it stands today in Nigeria, the Constitution is averse to any issue of interim government. And the best Nigeria can do is, as they canvass for their opinion, they make sure that it doesn't create room for anybody to take advantage of the loophole. And the doctrine of necessity, the history of doctrine of necessity in Nigeria is not new. And if Nigeria is facing that challenge, we can also look at the doctrine of necessity. What can we do so that at the end of the day we serve justice to all Nigerians, and at the end of the day serve justice to everybody that will be elected at one level or the other. But we should not allow any arm of government, be it DSS or the military or the police force, to blackmail Nigeria into silence, especially when there are genuine issues on what should move Nigeria forward. I think it's just about electoral justice. We have had electoral justice that the process run through. Many people will not be going for litigation. If INEC has stood by its own test of confidence, its own test of trust, we will get to this point. So I think whatever happens, we should hold INEC responsible, but DSS and other security apparatus must not be allowed to blackmail Nigerians to silence. It's a legitimate demand, and this is why the 10th National Assembly must look into it, so that the power of incidency is not abused by anybody either in power or anybody coming into power. So the most important thing is that we must also hold the judiciary to do its work, to see if they can fast-track the process. If they are serious, they can fast-track the process. And at the end of the day, between now and May 29, we have justice dispensed at different levels. But we must not allow anybody in any political party, either elected or in opposition, to blackmail us or any security apparatus. They are not licensed to blackmail Nigeria into silence. They are licensed to do the right thing and make sure the right thing is done, so that we can avert possible call for such calls in this country.
Now, Comrade Aluko, if you say that these kinds of statements may be intimidating to Nigerians, what do we expect the security agencies to do? We've seen in situations where before now, when security deteriorates, people say, "Oh, we have the DSS, we have the intelligence agencies. What are they doing?" Perhaps the DSS is trying to let Nigerians know that they found these things, so that in case it happens, the people do not start to blame them and say they're not doing their job. What do you make of that?
No. We should not make an excuse for DSS. To me, it's an insult to the Nigerian state that the security service will be telling us rumor at this age. You will have done the investigation and come out to give us a statement of fact. Not that you speculate rumor. It's not done anywhere. So the best the DSS will have done is that we have done our investigation, and this is the fact. Not that you tell us rumor. Are they part of the rumor? So it goes beyond that. If you do your investigation and look at it, why are people calling for this? What have the Nigerian state been able to do and the rest of it to avert it? It should have saved us a lot. It should not demystify it by giving us speculative rumor. They should tell us as a statement of fact, this is what is. I mean, they have mentioned the name so that we know if those people are speaking for Nigeria or they are speaking for themselves. So it's not enough for DSS to tell us rumor. They are not paid. They are meant to have investigated and that people calling for interim government.
Well, the PDP has said, well, the DSS should have gone ahead to arrest these people if they know them. Now, what if the DSS is trying to avert a situation where people begin to say, or Nigerians begin to say, oh, the DSS is partisan, they've gone to arrest opposition and all that, partisan.
They have done this timely and correctly. We will not get ourselves to this point. And it's because we have allowed different agencies to run, they did not give enough room so that litigation can be done with before any swearing in. And I think the person abuse of the power of the person at different levels. And part of it is to make sure governor or president that litigation is mandate to quash on the if. And they have them to pay back all the money. So we must begin to get to that point where we hold that have the mandate and the sanctity of the people are the one that are sworn in, not people that hijack the ballot, not people that derail the electoral process, and they now get to office and begin to use the power of the incumbency. So I think the need so that at the end of the day, election is credible, free and fair and transparent. That even before the end of the result, real the opposite, and we've seen it across different levels. Where even people are parties that do not deserve to be announced as winner. Look at what happened in Abia. Look at what happened in Enugu and many others just like that. So these are the issue. The duty of the system not to come and tell us that they are milling rumor interim or no interim. Nigerians must not allow themselves to be blackmailed. That's the spirit of the new Nigeria, making sure the right thing is done timely, correctly for the best of this country.
Now, reading through that, the DSS statement or release, press release.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Is it any better, comrade?
Hello?
Seems like we'd have to reconnect with Comrade Aluko. It's quite a little noisy where he is. He had mentioned earlier that he is a little busy, but we had to drag him in. Let's quickly see how we can wrap up this conversation. For those of you who haven't read or haven't seen the press release, maybe I'll just read you a bit of it. Comrade Aluko, can you hear me now?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so looking through the reading that the press release, and speaking to the merits of what the DSS says, or the meat of the conversation. Now, if we're saying that people are plotting to have declared interim government, it's only the people in power that can declare an interim government. Could it be that these people that the DSS is referring to are people in government?
Sorry, I didn't hear your question clearly.
I was saying that. Okay, Comrade Aluko, where you are it's quite busy. Maybe we'd have to let you go and bring you in later on, so we can have a clear conversation. Now, many questions are in my mind. Reading this statement, who has the power to declare an interim government or put in place an interim government? I'll just read you the statement for those of you who haven't seen the release. It says DSS confirms plot for interim government by misguided political actors. The Department of State Services DSS has identified some key players in the plot for an interim government in Nigeria. The service considers the plot being pursued by these entrenched interests as not only an aberration but a mischievous way to set aside the constitution and undermine civil rule, as well as plunge the country into an avoidable crisis. The legality is totally unacceptable in a democracy and to the peace-loving Nigerians. This is even more so that the machination is taking place after the peaceful conduct of elections in most parts of the country. The planners in their many meetings have weighed various options, which include, among others, to sponsor endless violent mass protests in major cities to warrant a declaration of state of emergency. Another is to obtain frivolous court injunctions to forestall the inauguration of new executive administrations and legislative houses at the federal and state levels. The DSS supports the President and Commander-in-Chief in his avowed commitment to a hitch-free handover and will assiduously work in this direction It also supports the Presidential Transition Council and such other related bodies in the states. It will collaborate with them and sister security and law enforcement agencies to ensure seamless inaugurations come 29th of May 2023. Consequently, the service strongly warns those organizing to thwart democracy in the country to retract from their devious schemes and orchestrations. Stakeholders, notably judicial authorities, media, and civil society, are enjoined to be watchful and cautious to avoid being used as instruments to subvert peace and stability of the nation. While its monitoring continues, the DSS will not hesitate to take decisive and necessary legal steps against these misguided elements to frustrate their obnoxious intentions. This is signed by Peter Afunaya, PhD, FSI, Public Relations Officer, Department of State Services, National Headquarters, Abuja, 29th March 2023. And this was also tweeted. It's on the official Twitter handle of the DSS, so you have access to it. You can read it for yourself. Now, it's quite unfortunate we don't have, Comrade Aluko joining us because he's quite busy. I can't understand with him. Now, other questions coming up is, if court injunctions are given, isn't it lawful to get court injunctions? With that, describing court injunctions as frivolous, what does that say about the judiciary or the judicial arm of our, nation, government as it is? I'll bring you in 09073530044 and 09087668888. Now again, the protection of our democracy should be top priority to every Nigerian, every well-meaning Nigerian, because truncating the look, when the interim national government was put in place in 1993, it only gave room for the military to take over and ran a government from 1993, or ran the affairs of this country from 1993 to 1999. What we have today, some people fought for, the civil society, some of the politicians who you see today, civilians, politicians, not those who removed the car keys and joined the military and joined, the democracy as it is. They fought for these things. Many people lost their lives on account of this. Nadeco and its members, some of them were exiled. It was a very terrible time. For those of you who remember, dark times for our country. We don't want to go back there. We don't want to go back there. Whatever it is that would truncate democracy should not be in any way supported. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Obonna Jackson on the line.
Obonna
Jackson on the line.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's hear you, please.
Good morning. Yeah, based on what you are saying, how can I be rumoring of interim national government? Which I don't know what it is. So DSS are the one that has given us the rumor, or they are the one that have speculated the whole thing that yes, some group of people or some politician or some. So now, if they know that some are they not human? So why would they go ahead and have those people either arrested or being questioned or so me on the street will only agitate. How do I agitate? How do the rumor comes to be from them to like what the colonel was telling you? He said yes, it's a rumor. They could have been authentic. These are what no matter in Nigeria you don't get facts. What do I mean you don't get facts? Immediately because you say if you have authentic data. So if the security agent of such will just be writing what we are heard now through your reading, I don't think it makes any sense. And this interim national government, is there anything different from this democracy we are practicing? When we had interim national government in 1993, NSS Seneca was installed by the outgoing administration of the Bangladesh, in which Abacha later overthrew. You understand? So if there is an interim national government, it can still be a civilian of 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, or 6 months. When we make the people are saying agitating of interim national government, does it mean dictatorship? Does it mean military? I don't know whether you understand. It does not mean military relations. It's just an interim, something that can happen within 1 month, 2 or 3, or even though 1
Is
year.
it legal? There's no legal grounds for it. The Constitution, there's no such thing as it is
There was nothing like
unconstitutional.
that. But
An
why
interim
will you
national
come to the
government will be
agitation?
unconstitutional, and that's what we're saying. Whatever it
Why?
is unconstitutional is
Yes, it's
undemocratic.
unconstitutional.
Exactly.
Why would they even not be saying it if it is unconstitutional? So why would they bring the people agitating for it? Are we the, like you asked a question, you wanted to ask the corner the question, but he could not hear you. Are we the people agitating or the government? Is it not government that will say, the way things are going on, this is give the solution? So if they say agitating, do they hide it on the street? Is it a protest? So I don't know what they understand. So based on security intelligence, they are the ones supposed to know which government. Is it the federal government or APC government or PDP or whatever? So I don't think that we will agitate for interim national government. Where interim national government means putting somebody in which you know, putting somebody so that if and there is no fracas, you just protest of election of this or election of that. Things were not done the way they are supposed. We went to court. We are waiting for the court. Trying to say, if they say we are agitating or people are there, I believe it's wrong. They are the ones to tell us what is happening because they are in power. They dictate, they do this, they do that. So we only say, if you are putting interim national government, who is the person? They are not talking of a military or dictatorship. Yes, dictatorship means when an army will take over. Is it not from interim national government? It's just the same civilian.
Obona, thank you very much, but I hope that you understand what it means. Whatever it is that would create a lacuna, whatever it is that would create an opportunity for anyone, anything that is not unconstitutional, in fact, anything that's unconstitutional cannot be accepted, okay? It's not democracy. If it's not democracy, it is not democracy. An election has been conducted. And this time around, a winner was declared. Unlike the 1993 situation where the election was annulled before, a final winner was declared. This time around, we have a president-elect, and as constitution demands, they would be handed over to that government come 29th of May. Hello, good morning.
Hello, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Is family?
Say again. What's your name, please? What's your name?
Frederick calling from Slager.
Frederick, good to have you join us.
Once again, I want to appreciate your good work.
Thank you.
And my take is that, just as everyone has said, I think it is ridiculous for us to be hearing that from the DSS. It means that they have not done their homework. If they have done, they should have come up to tell us that so I'm person where I've been detained. Look at their plan and we have done our investigation. But now you are saying it's a rumor. Though in every rumor there is an iota of truth, we wouldn't want to say that, but it should not be coming from them. That is what we are saying. And all these things is happening because the right thing was not done in the first place. The body that was set with the responsibility to give us a credible election compromise their standards, and that's why all this are happening. But just as every one of us, we are praying for peace. The power that be still have the responsibility to ensure that everything is done according as provided by the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, democracy should be constitutional. Everything should be constitutional. If it has no place in the Constitution, then it has no place in the country. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Moses, good to have you. Let's hear you quickly.
In the history of this country, there's only one to experience the interim government. And that interim government is, if I should remember, because I remember, comes as a result of tempering the democracy that people have voted for, which the military government then refuses to hand over, which it was pressure from the Americans, giving us timing before the government then not to enter into crisis, to second to the pressure from the America to form that military government. I think that is your vote. It is not constitutional, and it's not a thing that has to work. But my concern is, do the DSS work on rumors or on facts? That is my question. If they should work on rumors, there are elements of truth, and sometimes there are elements of no truth in it. That's why I mentioned something this morning. They should be professional. They should be professional. You don't expect Nigerians to go and arrest them. If you know them, and you know where they have their meeting according to the news, you read their content. They say they have their meeting, this is their plan, they are about to carry out, how they call, demonstrations that will intimidate many people that will lead to. If you know where they have their meeting, who superhead their meeting, who organized this meeting, you know them. Go after them, bring them to book, investigate the matter, because Nigerians are looking for facts. Enough is enough on this rumors kind of thing. So I think that the DSS should go beyond what they are doing. They should go beyond to be professional, not to allow certain things like this. When you just throw it on the news, there are some people. Who are those people? Who are those people? Just like somebody said. Who is that person? Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. And we're going to be talking more. 090-735-30044 and 090-8766-8888. Hello, good morning.
Thank you, my dear brother.
Good morning, Maiwa.
Good morning once again.
Good to have you.
This proposition that I won't call it's not a rumor. It's a grapevine. If it is rumor, you say that everything about it is not true. It is a grapevine. There's element of certainty, if not managed well. But I want to say that this is a road that we have witnessed before. I stand, in fact, without any regret to say that I'm one of those individuals who fought for the democracy that Nigeria is enjoying today, and we put our lives into it. I say it without any regret. Most of the people that are seated in the National Assembly, in the political echelon of Nigeria today, they were nowhere when we were fighting against the military then. And in the course of that struggle, great men and women disappeared into the hands of the enemy. Elegbede Babatunde was murdered. Alfred Riwan was killed. Oluwamasenyiwa, just to make Kudirat, including Alhaji Yaradua, died in the struggle of the emancipation of Nigeria democracy. And we don't want to go through, because even those people who are championing it, they cannot guarantee what will happen to them. And it's not a road that anybody should contemplate. I say it without any regret. It's not a road. And I think this that it will never happen. We can't go through it. Nigeria is over 200 million. What do you want to run to? Even with those who have visa, who have passport, they will not be able to go out. And it's going to consume them. But I am sure by the grace of God, we will not get into that. And I want to encourage DSS. Let them be sincere in everything they are doing. Let them too not play politics. Because me too, I'm also watching them. We are monitoring them. Even the political party, the APC, the PDP, they came out and say, bring them out. If PDP and APC can come out and say, bring these people out, you know that you know what that one means. Let us also put eye on them and be monitoring what they are doing, so that they will not throw this country into chaos. God forbid. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. And God bless Israel. God bless you, my friends. God bless you.
God bless you, Mayo. Thank you very much for calling. And the conversation continues. Keep it with us. This is your radio experience you can count on.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. Hurry now.
102.3 Abuja.
Join the Eagles 102.3 FM Secondary School Squeeze-Out Show and be the academic champions. Enroll your school with 2 students participating in mathematics, English, and general knowledge. Registration is 20,000 naira only. And what's more, your school gets massive promotion as long as they remain in the competition. Entry closes on the 18th of March 2023. For payment details and inquiries, please call 090-9719-8377. Eagles 102.3 FM Squeeze-Out Show. Building future champions today.
From Milky Way to Earth, everywhere there's internet, you can connect with Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Log on to our website www.eaglesfm.com. Follow and engage with us now on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja, Instagram at Eagles FM 1023. Download our apps on your Android and iOS stores. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. Hurry now.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.
Right, you're still on to Eagles 102.3, your radio experience you can count on, and this is Eagles Outlook. We're talking about the DSS press release yesterday that says, that some politicians are plotting to impose, an interim government on Nigerians. It says misguided political actors planning or plotting to impose an interim government on Nigerians. I have my guest back, Comrade Steve Aluko. We'll just wrap up the thoughts and then we'll let him go. Comrade, before the interruption,
yes, ma'am.
I was asking if, looking at the fact that no other Nigerian has the power to impose an interim government on Nigerians, but those in power, going by what happened in 1993, it was an outgoing military head of state that handed over power to, a civilian, Chief Ernest Shoniko, as an interim government, pending the conduct of another election and all. In this situation, we have an election that has been conducted. The winner has been declared by the INEC. Who else can be imposing or planning to impose, an interim national government?
I think one thing we must get clear is that history has its own way of either reinventing itself or also repositioning itself or repeating itself. What led to the interim government under IPP was a scenario that was played out clear, and the result was not totally announced because some people hijacked it. But in these different cases, that people have issues with the electoral process, and the issues are still on and is being canvassed. So interim could come in as an interim arrangement. As of then, it was decreed, but it is also the popular wish of the people to make sure that we have electoral justice for everybody, whosoever will be the winner at the end, and whosoever will be in opposition at the end. There's nothing wrong about it. The only thing is that it must be the wish of the people. And in terms of DSS also being blackmailed or being claimed as playing other people's game, is beyond that. If the fact they have on their table points to the fact that that is the midway to secure the unity of Nigeria, that's the midway to make sure that Nigeria is more integrated, to make sure that that's the best way to get fairness, equity, and justice in Nigeria, why not? It's not out of place for the DSS to also recommend it, if that is what we see in Nigeria, rather than go a one-way trust that will destroy the whole country. Look, let me tell you, the trust deficit of government today in Nigeria is abysmal. And it's only a failure state that can get to that point that people don't trust your institution, people don't trust your words. And when we get to that point, if we need to save ourselves the logjam of post-electoral violence, why not? But the most important thing is that the DSS should also let us know who is involved so that we know, are they the enemy of things? Are they the people that played it out in 1993 and tried to clean it out? It's also very, very important. But if it's a popular wish of Nigeria, why not? After all, even the Constitution of Nigeria says that the law says will be according to the tenets of the people of Nigeria. So if it's the people of Nigeria by their own security report is the one angling for it, why not? After all, the people's will is what the Constitution is standing on. There's no morality for any Constitution that does not represent the popular wish of the people. And I think that is the thing now. If it is established that majority of Nigerians is going that way, and if that will save us from going into what we see in Rwanda, the power torture is in Rwanda that leads to loss of life and property. Why not? We've also seen it in some other country. Why not? But one thing is that we must not allow either the DSS or any politician, either people that claim the one or people in opposition, to blackmail us into what is not popular. What I'm saying is that the will of the people must be the basis of governance. And that's what the Constitution says. The welfare of the people. And if going this area, we secure that for Nigeria, why not? And if it will not, why not petition it and go ahead? But the judiciary must fast track everything they need to do so that at the end of the day, Nigeria begin to see that the judgment they are going to give is the judgment of the people, not the judgment that's against people. Otherwise, we've seen answers. May we not see end of government in Nigeria.
Comrade, looking at this, what you've just painted now, the National Assembly represents the people. If there was need for an interim government, don't you think that the people through the National Assembly would have, legislated, for an interim national government to be recognized in the Constitution? If that hasn't happened, then it means that the people are not agitating for it.
Well, that's another way out. But let me also inform that this ninth assembly has lost all its legitimate ground to do so. The Senate President, by all standards, is not fit to occupy that office. A man that did not contest the primary and the Supreme Court gave him a seat.
Are you saying, Comrade Aluko, are you saying that the Supreme Court made a mistake or was wrong in its declaration?
Absolutely, without minding anyone. Because he aspired to be president under APC. And because of that, he did not vie for the primary of the Senate. But how come today you get him there? So is that the type of person that will sit down to tell you the wish of the people? And then you go to the speaker's suite. But Jamila came out to tell us that it was by mistake that they signed the Electoral Act. So if you put all this together, you begin to ask, how did some of them even win their rerun election? These are the challenges. And that is the confidence that we must have a way of making up. And if they be sincere and they will debate this election as expected, the doctrine of necessity that came up, we can also add on that provisions and make sure at the end of the day we see in this country. It's not about people capturing power. It's about the unity of this country. It's about the integration of this country. It's about how both those that will be in government, those will be in opposition, we have confidence in the process. It's about institution. And if it will take us this mile to build it, why not? So why will you just do a fait accomplish cases to people so that at the end of the day, Nigeria is more in trouble? Let me ask you, if Nigeria is in crisis today, will your radio station or your TV station operate? So whatever we can do to avert problem in this country, secure life and property is very, very important. Otherwise, we are toiling with the life of over 200 million Nigerians, which, if care is not taken, can run Nigeria aground. Let me tell you, let nobody deceive anybody. There is anger in the street. There is anger in the street. And if this government, or in any pretense, any government that is coming, take Nigeria for granted, let me tell you, if there can be answers in this country, there can be end of government in this country.
Comrade, I think that we need to manage what we say on radio, because as it is, first of all, the Supreme Court is final and the Supreme Court makes the decision, and we would not dispute the decision of the Supreme Court as a state radio station. But then coming to this statement by the DSS, what do you make of, like you mentioned, blackmail? Are you worried that this could be a means to, arrest people based on trumped up charges to say, oh, they're instigating Nigerians for an interim national government? Do you think that there might be arrests? Because many Nigerians have said, go ahead and arrest whoever it is that is planning an interim national government.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Nigeria is already an arrested state, either we like it or not. Where few individuals feel that because they are privileged to be in power, they are more citizens than Nigeria. So, and people have the right to break any yoke. And let me tell you one thing, is that raising money, decreeing anything will not stop anything. What will stop it is a fair sense of justice, equity, and fairness. And when people do not have it, people should go and read the history of how empires have collapsed, how states have collapsed. People should go and read how Russia became what it is today. It is when a state or a country is lacking in giving justice, equity, and fairness to its citizens. And when the citizen rises up in unison, it will break every other thing. And like you said earlier on, the Supreme Court now giving its judgment. Even under the law, the Supreme Court can review its own judgment. And I'm putting the Supreme Court to test. They should come out and tell us how did the Senate President find his way back for the contest of the Senate in this country. Even when it was very clearly the record of the parties there, the record that I didn't participate in primaries there, the electoral says the basis on which you participate in any election is on the basis that you participate in the primaries. And as of the time the primaries of the Senate was on, the current Senate President was not aspiring to be a senator. So why will the Supreme Court bend the hand of the rule? So that the Supreme Court has a final say does not mean it cannot review it, does not mean that Nigerians cannot hold them accountable. We must, because when there is injustice in this country, in any country, it brings down the morale of people, it brings down the confidence of the people, and when you lose the confidence of the people, there will not be basis for any government. That you are in national rock does not mean you are in government. The Constitution says that you must bring policies, programs that are serving the best interests of the masses in terms of their welfare, in terms of the protection of their life and property. And have we been able to do that in this country? We've not been able to do that. So it goes in whole circle. It's not just one line thing. Let nobody give any order. It's not order. It's about doing the right thing. And that is the essence of governance. If you cannot do the right thing, vacate the office and let people that have a better thing to offer to take over the government.
All right, so I'm bringing callers now, and they will just wrap up shortly. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, seems like we have a challenge there. Hello, good morning. You want to call us back, 090-7353-0044 and 090-87668888. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, what's happening now? All right, Comrade Aluko, with the way that things are going, you made it clear somehow that you also have doubts when it comes to the judiciary. Okay, seems like we have another caller here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Presenter. How are you doing?
Good morning, I'm very well. What's your name?
The name is Atang Simon Daniel, and I'm calling from the outside this morning.
All right, Danny, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good morning to Comrade Aluko, and I want to salute Comrade Aluko and yourself for being courageous enough to take this issue. I will just say a few things. The first thing is that seeing the build up to the elections and the elections proper and the post-election outcomes, is DSS telling us that with all the resources available to them, that this is the best they can do. Is this the best that DSS can offer Nigeria at this point in time? It is not, frankly speaking. The DSS that we know is more professional than this. What happened to their professionalism? What happened to their training? What happened to their code of practice? It is unfortunate that the DSS is the one that's going to be giving a press statement talking about using all legal means to stop people that they said they suspect might be promoting an interim government. And it is shameful, very, very shameful, that is with all the legal minds available to the DSS can go so low, so cheap, so pedestrian, to issue a press statement with the word frivolous court statements. As an institution, they should apologize to the judiciary for using that kind of statement, in public. It is unheard of. It is wrong. It is condemnable. The judiciary of Nigeria, regardless of its weaknesses and its challenges, is the judiciary of Nigeria. And it cannot be put down so low in public with public opprobrium to say that the injunction that the court gives are frivolous. No. Let that be the discussion in the market and in the beer parlors, but not from an institution like the DSS. Lastly, the build up to the elections, we saw, we witnessed, and we felt the ethnic profiling that led to that built the elections, especially the state elections and the State Assembly elections. We saw what happened during the election. How many people we want to hear it? We want to get the press statement from the DSS. How many people have been arrested for breaching the Electoral Act and the electoral laws and the electoral guidelines? How many? We also want to see from the DSS how many people have been arrested for ethnic profiling and for denying Nigerian citizens their right to exercise their civic franchise.
All right.
That is what we expect from the DSS. Not to, as Komaluko said, begin to become a rumor mill to spread rumors, to heat up the polity, and to now use that as a basis for unwarranted arrests of people that they feel that are not wanted before the inauguration. That will not be accepted by Nigerians. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much for calling. I'll leave. Comrade Aluko, let's close now. But then this is the only country that we have. Nigeria is the only country that we have. And many have said, look, whatever it is, whatever it would take for us to protect this country, let's do it to ensure that there's peace in this country. And the democracy that we have is not truncated in any way, by especially any unconstitutional means. What do you say to that?
The greatest unconstitutionalism is promoting and allowing and deepening culture of either political impunity or electoral impunity. The greatest injustice you can do to people, the greatest unconstitutional act is to deny people their democratic rights, the right to choose their leader of their own choice, and the right to punish and hold them accountable. Any country that cannot guarantee that is not fit to be proud of. And many of us are speaking as citizens of this country. We fought for this democracy. We lost our nation. We went to jail because of this democracy. And this is not what we fought for. What we expected is about 23 years down the lane. By now, we should have credible election where you don't need to lock down the economy because of election. People should be able to sit down in the comfort of their home and vote. And the result of the election should be the reflection of what people want, not being circumvented by either INEC staff or by people in power. So the greatest one we're saying is that this culture of impunity must stop. Because when you encourage culture of impunity, it becomes another culture of impunity. And when it continues, at the end of the day, the state is in the interest of those in government to do the right thing and do it correctly. You cannot say you are leading people and you are not doing the right thing. Either you are a good example or you are a bad example. And in this country, we don't want bad example again. Anybody that is not fit to rule this country, in whatever disguise, should not be allowed to rule this country, so that we don't endanger the future of over 200 million people because there was a privileged few of less than 10,000 number. How many people creating problem for us in this country? They are not up to 10,000. So how will you say that the will of the people should not prevail? And how will you say that people, when you cheat them, they don't have the right to? Even our constitution respect the right that people have the right to peacefully organize themselves and protest any form of injustice and the rest of it. And that's what we are saying. And the institution of government, including the DSS, must be seen to be doing the right thing, not encouraging the wrong thing in whatever disguise. They should learn from the history of the scrapping of SSS. when they were supporting the military instead of supporting the people. And it can happen under a civilian regime. They should be seen to be speaking for people. They should be seen to be speaking the right thing, not becoming rumor mill for this country. It is not a bare parlor talk, it's a serious matter. Governance is a serious matter, and it should be seen as a serious matter, and should not be given to people that will come and treat it with kid blow. It shouldn't.
Comrade Steve Aluko is the Executive Director, Civil Liberties Organization. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation this morning. We appreciate you joining in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And well, this is where we drop the anchors. Again, Nigerians, you must remember that this is the only country that you have. You got it with all that you have. And the comments and thoughts expressed on this show are those of those who express them, not of Eagles FM. Hope that we understand that. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation today. To every one of you, I say big thank you. And business news is up next. Right after that, Martha as well as Danny Sucre will take over on the Midday Extra show. Martha, how are you doing this morning?